Hi there, my name is Lauren and welcome to Social Work Scrapbook. For this particular video, I want to answer one of the questions that I get a lot, and a question that also keeps very qualified people from becoming social workers. It's how do you deal with difficult clients? How do you deal with those difficult situations, those people that just don't want to talk to you, that are hard to relate to? It's all fun and games when you have the perfect client that's receptive, that wants to talk, that just thinks you're wonderful and loves sitting with you for 45 minutes to an hour a week. But what about the opposite end? Many of my clients are not necessarily seeking help. I work in a school system. I've been there for going on 7 years. Before that, I worked at juvenile probation detention center. So all of my clients there did not want to talk to me. I can guarantee you that, because many of them told me, I don't want to be here. And who wants to be locked up? So it was that kind of situation that was court mandated cases. It's important that you keep yourself safe as possible. If someone is outright cussing you out or throwing things towards you, which I'm going to tell you right now, this has never happened to me at all. And I'll share one of my most difficult situations with you today a little later, but that's never happened. I think that's a fear. It was my fear going into it. What if someone wants to throw a chair at me or wants to punch me in the face? That's never happened to me. But if it's a situation where you do not feel safe, please do not have the session. Don't feel pressured to have the session. It's okay to set your boundary and to say, look, today doesn't seem like a very good day to have a session, and that's okay. Let's reschedule, or I will reschedule you. Your safety is number one. And so what I recommend is starting where the client is and realizing and understanding that you do have to take it slow. The more difficult the client, the more they need the help. You are there not to be best friends and not to like everyone, but to give everyone that outlet. So if you're going through your social work program, whether that be an introduction class or you're already deep into your MSW program, maybe you're already a seasoned social worker, you pretty much know that we start where the client is. That is big. Those 5 words are very important to the work that we do, especially when dealing with difficult clients. We really have to use empathy, which is putting yourself into the client's shoes, whether that be a mom that doesn't want to talk to you, someone that doesn't want to cooperate, a kid that doesn't want to be there, that rather be in recess or gym time. We have to put ourselves as much as possible into that client's shoes to kind of feel and sense what they might be feeling so that we don't take it personally. It's really easy when you're starting off to take things very personally, to want to be liked. That's not the role of a social worker. For the first few sessions, you are doing assessments and you're building rapport, and to the outside eye, that might look happy-go-lucky, giddy type of people that are just chit-chatting away, when in actuality, you're building that rapport because you're going to bring in some very challenging topics into the room with that client. You're not going to start off in the first session trying to attack it and get down to some deep, dark demons. And actually, that's going to cause clients to really not want to come see you again. So they need to be able to feel that empathy from you. You need to build that rapport so that they trust you, so that you can then start challenging some of the concepts, some of the thoughts in their mind that have gotten them to where they are. I am rarely triggered. I don't take much personally. Like I said before, I can easily leave work where it's at. And I know there's many of you that have been requesting a video on how I keep calm, I don't cry, I don't get emotional in sessions or take work home. I'm gonna get that information to you as soon as I can put it in a video that I feel is informative enough to share with you. It's coming. One of my most difficult clients in session was when I did work for juvenile probation. All my clients were supposed to be doing family therapy, and the families would schedule and usually come in, and we'd be there for an hour, we'd be done. We had to do that at least twice a month for my client, my direct client, the student that was in juvenile, to gain points and then eventually get home. It was a whole program that they had to go through. So one particular client had been working really hard in session, and the adolescent client was doing well. However, the family had scheduled and rescheduled and scheduled and rescheduled and canceled and rescheduled. So the client would go nowhere since the parent wasn't coming in. She finally made her way into a session. Just one, she came when she wasn't scheduled. Two, I wasn't ready to have a session, but I felt obligated to have the session because honestly, I didn't know if she was going to show up again. So from the get-go, I was already taking it a little bit personal because I had already built rapport with her child. If you work with children, you know that the problems are stemming from more than just the client. So I could see clearly, and honestly, I was triggered by this family when they came in for their session. And I knew I was gonna be. I tried to keep myself at bay, and I did. I didn't go off and do anything crazy, but she did call me out in the session. She called out my own family values. One, she asked me if I was a parent, which I did not disclose because I don't have to disclose. She tried to pull me in by getting personal and challenging my own family values and what I was doing there at after hours to have a session with her when I was neglecting my own family. We can tell right off the bat that she was... You don't have to disclose anything when a client is asking you, because honestly, if they're asking you things like that, they're trying to shift the responsibility in the room to someone else. And I pointed that out to her and I redirected the attention back to her. She did not like that, but I wasn't going to take that either. She had to have some responsibility in the room. So needless to say, this was our first meeting. Rapport wasn't built with her. It was built with my immediate client. So the situation got difficult. Challenging the parent gave the adolescent some insight and allowed them to speak up and point out the negligence, to point out the canceling and rescheduling that had been happening, and to really bring that into the room. I didn't have to say it any further. They were able to say it in their own words, which is honestly 10 times more powerful. I did practice what I preached. I did try to empathize. I restated the goals and letting her know I'm not there to judge her. Even if she felt like she needed to judge me, I'm not there to judge her. I'm simply there to help her family reach a certain goal and get their child back home. By the end, she did apologize, and she told me flat out, I didn't like you at first. I didn't think you were going to be able to help my family, but I see now that you've helped my child more than anyone else has. So thank you for that, and thank you for not holding anything against me. Difficult clients are difficult for a reason. They need the most support. So what I suggest is always coming to the goal with your client, always keeping the goal in mind, especially if they're getting very defiant and very difficult. Keep the goal in mind, restate the goal to them out loud, realign yourself with the client. And that's why we set goals early on in therapy sessions, so that we can realign ourselves with the client if we do feel like either progress isn't being made or the client is getting very difficult or destructive to themselves and others. In reality, you should both have the same goal. And I often tell the most difficult of clients that I'm not there to tell them what to do. I'm not there as another person out in the world to wag my finger at them. That's not my role. We are taking a journey. You are in the driver's seat. I am in the passenger seat. I'm there to keep you company. I'm there to help navigate the road and the situation. If the car is completely broken down, we'll both get out and figure out what the situation is. Mind you, I know nothing about cars. The analogy helps to guide the client into understanding therapy from a different perspective. I believe that therapy is a partnership. If you're doing it right, the client will also feel like both of you are working together to meet their goal, like they have someone on their side. So honestly, when I approach difficult clients with that type of analogy and that type of mindset, right then and there, they see me completely different. The statement of confidentiality is also going to help you a whole lot. Please don't forget to do that. With difficult clients, I feel like you have to do it more than once, because I want to let them know that I'm just a different type of individual. I'm there to keep their information confidential and private and respect their space and allow them a space to talk. And they need it. Everybody needs that time and that space to release whatever is up in here, stuck in here, causing anxiety, depression, anger. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any other tips, suggestions, any other advice for dealing with difficult clients, please drop them down below. Again, Social Work Scrapbook is a community of social workers coming together to share their insight, their knowledge, or ask any questions that you have on your mind. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'm wishing you social work success. Until next time.